The government is making it clear the country's Citizenship by Investment program, the CIP, cannot simply be abandoned without viable, concrete, and credible replacement revenues being made available. Well, that is the response from Prime Minister the Right Honourable Gaston Brown this evening as the European Commission asks Antigua and Barbuda to phase out its CBI program by June 1 of 2028 or face suspension of visa-free access to the Schengen area. The request was communicated to Prime Minister Brown in a June 25 letter from Magnus Brunner, Commissioner for Internal Affairs and Migration. The European Commission's request is based on its revised visa suspension mechanism, where merely operating a CBI program, regardless of how well it is managed, is now grounds for suspending visa-free access. The Commission has also communicated this position to all OECS member states with active CBI programs. These are Dominica, Grenada, St. Kitts and Nevis, and St. Lucia. Prime Minister Brown says the CBI program will continue and the government will not be pressured into a unilateral phase-out that would cause irreparable harm to the national economy and the welfare of citizens. Meanwhile, the government says it will continue to engage the European Commission in a principled and constructive dialogue. A release from the Office of the Prime Minister says Antigua and Barbuda will act in good faith on certain interim measures proposed by the European Commission as it pursues all available diplomatic avenues to protect Antigua and Barbuda's national interests. The government in St. John's will continue to exclude from its CBI program any individuals subject to EU restrictive measures, reinforce vetting for all other nationalities applying to the CBI program, and give full attention to any additional safeguards which may be required to satisfy EU security standards. The government has reiterated that the Citizenship by Investment program, the CBI program, has funded significant social and economic projects in Antigua and Barbuda and remains a critical pillar of non-tax revenues.
The issue emerged after Trinidad and Tobago formally objected to Dr. Barnett's reappointment earlier this year, insisting its concerns are not about the individual, but about whether the proper legal procedures were followed. In a letter to regional leaders, Prime Minister Carla Barnett argued that the Secretary General's second term was approved through a heads of government retreat, rather than by the conference acting under the procedures set out in the revised Treaty of Chaguaramas. She has maintained that the Community Council should also have made a recommendation before any reappointment could take place. Following discussions at the 51st CARICOM Heads of Government meeting, leaders agreed to seek an advisory opinion from the Caribbean Court of Justice, the body responsible for interpreting the treaty that governs the regional integration movement.
CARICOM acknowledged that the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago desires to have the issue of the reappointment of the Secretary General referred to the Caribbean Court of Justice, CCJ, to render an advisory opinion thereon. To facilitate this request, the community agrees to commence proceedings to secure such advisory opinion in accordance with Article 212 of the revised Treaty of Chaguaramas.
PSS leaders also agreed that the current arrangements will remain in place while the court considers the matter, allowing CARICOM to continue its work without disruption.
The community further agreed that the status quo with respect to the reappointment of the Secretary General shall remain unless and until the community considers the said advisory opinion from the CCJ. The community agreed that this way forward allows for this matter to be resolved in an amicable manner without prejudice to the ability of the community to conduct its affairs.
Prime Minister Pierce says the leaders also reaffirmed that the ongoing review of CARICOM's governance architecture is intended to strengthen the community's institutions and improve accountability, not to question the integrity of any individual member state or official. The CCJ's advisory opinion is expected to clarify the interpretation of the treaty and establish how future appointments to one of CARICOM's highest offices should be handled, while leaders seek to preserve both the rule of law and the regional unity. For the DBS News World, Manasseh Stanislas reporting.
Opposition leader Azruddin Mohammed has leveled sweeping allegations of corruption against President Irfaan Ali, accusing the head of state of using public office to develop a private agricultural estate worth more than $2.2 billion. Mohammed alleged that the president developed a sprawling 150-acre ranch along the Soesdijk-Linden Highway over the past 3 years at a cost that could not be justified by his official earnings as president. He further alleged that taxpayers' money was used to finance the development, contending that the scale of the investment far exceeds what could reasonably be funded through the president's salary or legitimate private income.
This is what the president of Guyana has stolen from them simply to enrich his own life. A president exists to serve its citizens, not himself.
Mohammed also claimed the ranch houses approximately 80,000 chickens, hundreds of cattle, sheep and goats, commercial aquaculture facilities, 9 hydroponic greenhouses, 7 shade houses, and extensive fruit orchards, all of which he argued represent a massive private investment made while President Ali has been in office. According to Mohammed, the estate also employs dozens of full-time workers, including farm managers, veterinarians, machinery operators, laborers, and security personnel, resulting in millions of dollars in payroll expenses annually. The opposition leader accused President Ali of enriching himself, while many Guyanese continue to face challenges accessing adequate housing, reliable electricity, roads, and other essential public services. Mohammed further alleged there was no independent oversight of the development and called on the international community, including United States authorities, to examine abuse of public office for personal enrichment. However, President Ali has rejected the allegations and has maintained that he will not succumb to what he described as attempts by the Mohammed family to blackmail him. President said that before the release of the video's allegations concerning the ranch, he had received a series of communications over a period of time, warning that information about him would be made public unless certain amends were made. Mohammed, though, has since called on the president to immediately resign. Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News.
The FIFA World Cup action is heating up, and the cable is bringing you the chance to cash in. Think you know football? Well, put your predictions to the test in the cable FIFA World Cup cash-in promotion. Follow the tournament and predict the teams making it through. By July 3rd, choose the final 8 and you could win US $200. By July 7th, predict the final 4 and win US $300. By July 11th, name the final 2 and take home $500 US. And the ultimate prize, the big one. Predict the World Cup champion by July 18 and win $1,000 US. Ready to play? Entering is easy. Visit the cable's social media pages, click the Google form link, and submit your predictions. Winners will be selected by random draw, so don't miss your chance to score big. The Cable FIFA World Cup cash-in promotion, where your football knowledge pays off. Terms and conditions apply.
A new day begins. The sun rises over St. Martin, bringing new energy, new possibilities. This island was built on resilience, progress, and the strength of its people. Our connection is what moves us forward. It links our communities, our businesses, our families. From the heart of the island to the shores beyond, we've connected St. Martin. From every street to every home, this network was built for St. Martin by St. Martin hands. Connection isn't just about signals, it's about people. This is your island and your network recharged. Proudly local, we're here for today, tomorrow, and every milestone ahead.
driver's licenses are no longer valid for Haitians living under TPS.
According to the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services website, work permits are set to expire just 4 days from now. That'll be July 10th. It's creating some issues for an estimated 12,000 Haitians living in Springfield. 2 News reporter Julian Jackson has been covering this topic. He joins us now live from Springfield. Julian, how is the Haitian community navigating through this big challenge?
Hey, Jack, Lauren, they're taking things day by day is what they're telling me right now. And I do want to make a note of this. Now, we are learning that it is possible that the status of the Haitians holding TPS here in Springfield and across the nation may not end until July 20th. Now, that's because of a recent filing within the U.S. Court of Appeals for the D.C. Circuit. So we're still working to learn more on that. I talked to a guy earlier today. He said he's lived in Springfield for 5 years. And he said going to work right now is probably not a good idea.
I would say probably not because they're scared.
After living in Springfield for 5 years, Irfaan Bailey says he's finally thinking about taking the government's offer to self-deport.
They say the government will give like $2,600 and for people who want to go voluntary.
Irfaan says he still can't see why the government believes Haiti, which remains under a level 4 travel advisory, is safe for people to return.
If it's not safe for American people and it's not safe for me as a human. Yeah, but they don't see it like that.
James Florijan with the Haitian Support Center tells me if it was safe to go back, it's likely that all 350,000 Haitians living in the U.S. under TPS would leave.
Haitians, they're so proud of the country, they are so patriotic and they love the country. They just stay here just because they don't have a choice.
For the time being, anyone who needs to go to work, needs groceries, or needs to get other appointments are being accommodated through rideshare services and the help of volunteers.
This is what we do to see if we can help them out to endanger themselves, driving without a valid driver's license.
I asked Irfaan if he still feels safe in Springfield.
People were very, I would say, very kind, not anymore.
Now we are still working to learn more, and at this time, with the driver's license expiring, the work permits just 4 days from now, they are still navigating things day by day. Now, what they're telling me is that they just hope that things can be peaceful at this time. We're going to continue following updates and let you know if anything arises. You can follow that here live on air and through the 2 News app. Live in Springfield, Julian Jackson, 2 News.
We will be heard, and we will not be silenced like your own people. So pound away.
I'm sorry, this is a point of order.
A testy exchange between Washington and Havana playing out on the floor of the UN General Assembly. Cuba's foreign minister came to New York to address what he said is the United States' war against his country.
The United States is carrying out against Cuba a multidimensional, non-conventional warfare. Added to this, there is now an energy siege, which is equivalent to a naval blockade, which is also an act of war.
Sustained applause after his speech, another sign Cuba has wide support from the world. The Group of 77 in China, the world's largest bloc of developing nations, more than 130 countries, backed Havana. Then the U.S. ambassador took the floor, and the tone changed.
President, there's a lot of talk today of an embargo. And indeed there is one. It's staring us all in the face. It's the embargo the Cuban regime mercilessly imposes on its own people decade after decade after decade.
When Waltz started accusing the Cuban government of corruption, repeated points of order.
Es usted un mentiroso, señor Waltz. You are a liar, Mr. Waltz.
There was no resolution voted on in this meeting. That will happen later this year. But the contentious exchanges clearly showing the deep tensions that remain between Havana and Washington. Gabriel Zondo, Al Jazeera at the United Nations in New York.
CARICOM heads of government meeting in St. Lucia for their 51st summit are expected to focus on strengthening regional unity, discuss the situation in Haiti, reparation, and Cuba in the short 4-day window to deal with several complex issues. But given the pressures placed upon Caribbean countries by the United States administration, issues of unity within the regional structure emerge, some seeing fractures that could threaten the fundamentals of the regional body. St. Kitts and Nevis' Prime Minister Dr. Terence Drew, who entered the chairmanship during the height of the CARICOM's stressed moments, met with most of CARICOM leadership to discuss the challenging matters. But as he gave way to CARICOM's next chairman, Prime Minister Drew commented on the strength of the regional body during the July 5th opening ceremony for the 51st Conference of Heads of Government of the Caribbean Community.
Today, the conversation is a bit challenging, but it has changed. The question is no longer whether CARICOM will survive. The question now is how we strengthen CARICOM for the next generation, and I think those sentiments were espoused by the young speaker who featured this afternoon. So the question becomes, how do we modernize our governance? How do we improve implementation? How do we make this community even more relevant to the lives of our people in this great region? Those are questions worthy of our collective attention. But permit me, therefore, to offer one humble recommendation. Whenever this community faces matters of great significance, let us ensure that every head of government makes every effort to be present for our retreats and caucuses to resolve matters in-house. Those sessions remain among CARICOM's greatest strengths. Away from cameras and prepared statements, colleagues speak candidly. Trust is strengthened. Misunderstandings are resolved. Consensus is built. No newspaper headline has ever solved a disagreement among Caribbean leaders. They have done the opposite. No public commentary has ever replaced honest dialogue. But respectful conversation among colleagues committed to a common purpose has repeatedly strengthened this community. May we always preserve that tradition. And so, my colleagues, the reaffirmation of our unity was never the destination. It was the foundation. Our people rightly expect more than declarations. They expect progress. They expect opportunity.
Geopolitical tensions and their impact on the Caribbean community will be a central theme throughout this summit. Glenn Bart reporting for Television Caribbean, TVC Channel 40.
The FIFA World Cup action is heating up, and the cable is bringing you the chance to cash in. Think you know football? Well, put your predictions to the test in the cable FIFA World Cup cash-in promotion. Follow the tournament and predict the teams making it through. By July 3rd, choose the final 8 and you could win US $200. By July 7th, predict the final 4 and win US $300. By July 11th, name the final 2 and take home $500 US. And the ultimate prize, the big one. Predict the World Cup champion by July 18 and win $1,000 US. Ready to play? Entering is easy. Visit the cable's social media pages, click the Google form link, and submit your predictions. Winners will be selected by random draw, so don't miss your chance to score big. The Cable FIFA World Cup cash-in promotion, where your football knowledge pays off. Terms and conditions apply.
At Digital Print Plus and Crafted by Design, We're thrilled to be your go-to print shop located in the heart of Bastille. From essential services like printing, copying, and laminating, to a diverse array of school supplies, arts and craft materials, and office essentials, we've got you covered. Don't fret, Digital Print Plus and Crafted by Design are here to stay and ready to be your trusted partners for all your printing and craft supply needs. Ready for a visit? Find us at the corner between Dillio and Princess Street. Just look for the vibrant pink and yellow building with white doors. We can't wait to welcome you to our creative haven.
Don't miss News Desk, weekdays at 11 a.m. and 5 p.m. on TVC. Sing Kids to the World, now streaming everywhere.
King James is a soca artist out of the beautiful island of Sunshine City, St. Martin. I love music, grew up around music, and I just love to entertain people. Got started in music from a young age. My creative process is, one, I would get a vibe, get a melody. That's why having talent behind us makes such a difference. They're not just our local telecom. They're supporting local artists, giving us the support and tools to keep creating and sharing without limits. And with Telem's new internet speeds, I can upload my files and tracks in seconds, send big files to producers overseas, and even live stream without worrying about buffering. But Telem has always played a role when it comes to young talent on the island. I would actually go as far to say this. Without Telem, there probably wouldn't be a King James right now. Telem is showcasing that St. Martin can compete on any level. They are investing in us, in our creativity, and in our future. And that's something I'm proud to be a part of.
The Ministry of Homeland Security is assuring citizens that passport services will continue uninterrupted. In a media release issued on Tuesday, it dismissed media reports suggesting that TNT is running out of machine-readable passports as the country prepares to introduce a new e-passport system. The ministry said recent media reports contained, quote, inaccurate and incomplete claims that fail to present the full picture of the ministry's ongoing passport modernization program, end quote. The statement said citizens can continue to apply for and receive passports as normal. It noted that the total number of machine-readable passport booklets to be delivered in 2026 is 100,000, with the Immigration Division currently issuing fewer than 6,000 passports each month. The ministry says this leaves sufficient inventory to meet public demand. The ministry said it also continues to advance procurement for the country's new biometric e-passport system, with an expression of interest process completed and submissions being evaluated. The new passports will feature enhanced security measures, including an embedded electronic chip containing internationally recognized biometric security technology. Gregory McBurney, TTT News.
Noting the ongoing geopolitical recalibrations and fragmented supply chains, incoming chairman of the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States, Gaston Brown, says the OECH Commission must be re-engineered into a leaner, faster, and more effective institution. Noting that the Commission must be fit for purpose, Brown highlighted that such conversation has been had with the OECH Director General. The incoming OECH chairman officially placed a request to the Director General to develop a reform plan that improves delivery, reduces cost, and strengthens the Commission's ability to better serve the people of the OECS. Speaking on the United States' current immigration policy with the Caribbean, the OECS chairman acknowledged respect for the position taken, but noted that bilateral and multilateral relationships continue to suffer.
Our people purchase American goods, use American financial services, and send their children to American universities. We are beneficial partners for the American economy, not adversaries to be restricted.
Brown cited unexplored opportunities for trade within the OECS and CARICOM regions, as well as Central and South America.
But stretching to our south and west lies a hemisphere, or a region for that matter, of 447 million Spanish-speaking neighbors, 40 times the size of all of CARICOM, with whom our commercial ties remain frustratingly thin.
He commended the Economic Commission for Latin America and the Caribbean for consistently encouraging trade partnerships between the Caribbean and Latin America. The OECS chairman is calling for a proactive strategy involving Latin America, hinting strongly at Panama, given the multi-billion-dollar trade route through the Panama Canal.
Central America offers proximity, agricultural complementarity, and established food production chains. An OECS strategy that builds sourcing partnerships with Central American producers, uses Panama as a transshipment point, and develops shared regional emergency stockpiles could fundamentally reduce our cost of living and transform our resilience.
Touching on airlift, Brown said he has advanced a proposal for OECS Air, which would be a dedicated sub-regional carrier leveraged on the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank's unclaimed deposits.
In fact, I'm told that we have about $50 million in unclaimed deposits. These are deposits that people have not owned or requested for over 20, 30 years. They're sitting there, they're not being employed. These should be invested for the joint benefit of the OECS people. A region that cannot move its people efficiently and effectively cannot integrate commercially.
He asserted that there should no longer be any hesitation for acting in the interests of the people of the OECS, and he called on his colleagues to demonstrate their political will. I am Gerard Joseph reporting.
Workshop organizer Dr. Jafia Jaya Singh Ramkumar warned that as more people move away from traditional diets, this delicate balance is being disrupted with serious consequences for human health and rising costs for economies around the world. She says modern food systems are also driving environmental damage and that it's time to rethink how we understand the connection between soil and the microbiome.
With this shift, we are seeing a huge global health burden in chronic diseases and death, which also comes with huge economic costs.
A biocircular food system, one that reduces waste and recycles resources, could help transform food production and may likely reduce food loss and waste by up to 40%. Health Minister Honorable Michael Joseph urged participants to challenge traditional thinking and to embrace new approaches to public health.
Let us recognize that the path to a healthier nation is not found solely in our healthcare facilities, but also in our farms, in our backyard gardens, our schools, our communities, and the environment that surrounds and sustains us.
The workshop forms part of ongoing efforts to improve food quality, safety, and long-term health outcomes by rethinking how food systems are designed. Elisha George for ABS News.
And now for sporting developments, I am Terry Andrew. We begin with cricket. West Indies completed their first home test series triumph for 2 years when the second and final match against Sri Lanka ended in a rain-affected draw on the last day at the Sir Vivian Richards Stadium. West Indies, having won the first test, take the series 1-0. Sri Lanka declared their second innings at 251 for 9, just after lunch, setting their host a daunting target of 302 in less than 2 sessions for a sweep of the 2-match test series. However, the Windies' opening pair of John Campbell and Brandon King put together an unbroken opening stand of 89, interrupted first by brief showers and by longer sustained rainfall, which extinguished any prospect of an outright result either way. So scores, Sri Lanka 559 for 9 declared, and 251 for 9 declared, and West Indies 499, and of course 109. More cricketing news. Young Jamaican wrist spinner Vittel Laws has received his maiden call-up to the West Indies squad for the ODI series against New Zealand. The 19-year-old Laws has been training with the senior team since the preparatory camp prior to the start of the home series. Earlier this year, he was named in the ICC Under-19 World Cup's team of the tournament, where he impressed by claiming 10 wickets and bowling the highest number of dot balls during the competition. Laws is among a 15-member squad selected by CWI for the opening 3 matches of the 5-match one-day international series against New Zealand to be played in Guyana and Barbados. The rest of the squad are Shea Hope, captain, Akeem Ogis, John Campbell, Casey Carty, Ruston Chase, Matthew Ford, Justin Graves, Amir Django, Azari Joseph, Shamar Joseph, Gudakesh Moti, Kimo Paul, Sherfin Rutherford, and Jaden Seals. Now to football and news from the World Cup. Switzerland advanced to the last 8 to face world champions Argentina after defeating Colombia 4-3 on penalties in Vancouver. The sides could not be separated after 120 minutes of football. Colombia's Davinson Sanchez missed the target and Chucho Hernandez's penalty was saved by Switzerland's Gregor Kobel. Despite Manuel Akanji's miss, Ruben Vargas put away the final spot kick to send his side to the quarterfinals. Also today, world champions Argentina survived another scare as they came from behind to stun Egypt 3-2 in Atlanta and reached the last 8 of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Argentina's shock exit looked certain against the Pharaohs, who led 2-0 thanks to goal from Yasser Ibrahim and Mustafa Zico. Cristiano Romero cut the deficit in half with a close-range header in the 79th before Lionel Messi, who had missed a first-half penalty, equalized 5 minutes later. Then 2 minutes into injury time, Argentina on the counter-attack and a cross from Lautaro Martinez found the head of Enzo Fernandez, who made no mistake in nodding home the eventual winner and completed the comeback. Martinez's goal was the 3,000th goal in tournament history.
Thanks, Garfield. Now, tributes have continued to pour in following the passing of legendary Jamaican track and field coach and MVP Club co-founder Stephen Francis OJ. Denise Waters reports.
Confirmation of Stephen Francis's death came Sunday morning from the MVP Track Club, which he co-founded in 1999. Francis, who turned 64 on July 3, was admitted to hospital in recent weeks for medical treatment. Francis, who stepped down as head coach in 2017, was technical director at the time of his death. Outside of being known as Jamaica's most successful coach as it relates to medal contributions at the Olympics and World Championships across the 100 meters, 200 meters, 400 meters, 400-meter hurdles, 100-meter hurdles, long jump, high jump, and shot put events, Francis was also a no-nonsense person who spoke his mind about how the sport was administered locally and internationally.
Mr. Mills and Mr. Francis and Mr. Wilson and Mr. Stewart, O'Keefe Stewart, and Mr. Walcott up at JC and whoever else. They do all the work. They do all the work. They fund the athletes, or they arrange funding. They produce the athletes who are capable of winning medals, and the coaches overseas. All the J3As has to do is to stay out of the way.
President of the MVP Club, Bruce James, said Francis changed the trajectory of Jamaican athletics for the better. James added that Francis proved that Jamaican athletes, guided by Jamaican coaches, supported by Jamaican management and training in Jamaica, could become the very best in the world. This was Bridget Foster Hilton and current MVP head coach Paul Francis speaking about Stephen 2 years ago on Street Driven TV.
A lot of persons doubted us. A lot of persons didn't believe that you could stay in Jamaica and train and do well. And you know, Frano was the brainchild behind just staying home.
He's extraordinarily intellectually facile, very bright, and not intended to be any disrespect to any other of my colleagues in the field of coaching. But I think a very large percentage of the reason for our success is that he's a very, very, very bright man.
The Jamaica Athletics Administrative Association praised Francis's meticulous approach to coaching, noting his unwavering discipline and his exceptional ability to identify and develop raw talent. The association said his legacy extends beyond medals and world records, describing him as a mentor, father figure, and fierce advocate who inspired generations of young Jamaicans to dream without limits. President of the Jamaica Olympic Association, Christopher Samuda, remembers Francis as a coach with a very sharp mind.
The Jamaica Olympic Association respects the man who stood his ground and has left indelible footprints in the national soil.
Sports Minister Olivier Grange described Francis as a remarkable son of Jamaica, saying his impact will be felt for generations.
He was a unique person who used his talents to bring glory to our country and to improve the lives of countless athletes who benefited from his guidance and tremendous expertise.
Francis guided the careers of some of Jamaica's most successful athletes, including Olympic champions Shelley and Fraser Price, Elaine Thompson-Hira, and Mylene Walker. He also guided world champions Sharika Jackson, Bridget Foster Hilton, Tajay Gale, and former 100-meter world record holder Asafa Powell, among other global medalists.
There is something called the Dunning-Kruger effect, which essentially means that a lot of people who know very little, believe that they know a lot. And they don't know enough to know that they know nothing.
Denise Walters for TVJ Sports.